Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! We win!
Don't you open your mouth about the best, or I'm gonna shut it for you real quick. LOB.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Lewis gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
Pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
What was your mindset when you stepped in the batter's box?
Go yard. I mean, I'm a pitcher. Why not swing as hard as I can? I got nothing to lose.
It's nothing to man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. Instead of saying, why me? They're saying this is what he want me to do. And, Cleveland! This is for you!
The way we approach the game is the same way we approach life. You do the right thing. You make the right play. Make the right play. And in life, it's the same thing. What do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do? And you do that. You know, it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to do. And I think it's just that.
Welcome to
What?
The game.
Me.
To me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I know it's been a while, but we're back. What the game means to me. NFL season upon us, so of course, we have to get on and talk the game. But of course, I want to introduce my brother, Thaddeus Bell. Got him on again today. How you doing, man?
What's good, man? Glad to be back. It's been a long time. I don't even know when the last time we did the show was. I say about
For the NFL draft, NFL draft day or the day before NFL draft. So
crazy, about 4 or 5 months. But
yeah.
Like really looking forward to the season this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the first time in a long time. Like, not that I'm ready to podcast, but I'm ready to just talk football. Like I'm hyped going into the season. I have questions still, but ready to look forward to the season and the amount of content we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So let's get to it.
Yeah, this is probably one of the better seasons for both of our squads, to be honest. Like it's still a lot of questions surrounding mine for sure, but I mean, we're in a weak division. We got a weak schedule. Who knows what's gonna happen? So, like you said, it's definitely a good time to be a football fan. I know y'all have some high hopes based off what y'all did last year. Making the playoffs. Probably should have advanced a little further, but hiccups happen. But anyway, I'm gonna say my team, we may do something, we may not, coming off a 7-10 season, but we're gonna see. But first, before we even hit into any of our teams, we're gonna, of course, bring back our little first segment today. Is gonna be our little something or nothing segment. One thing that kind of stuck out to me, I guess I'm gonna get back onto my teams. Mo actually said it in the chat. I think he threw in like a Bijan Robinson video, and I've been seeing them, throughout the weeks, and it kind of starting to make me kind of upset because it was like, yeah, one-on-ones, of course, like double moves, like that's going to be impossible to guard, especially for a linebacker. And then like everything else that they're showing, just kind of hyping them up. It's like, all right, like we just gotta chill a little bit. It's preseason. I know he's highly touted, obviously one of the higher picks for a skill position, but that mixed in with just everything that's happening with the running backs this offseason, it's like kind of makes the pick look worse, but it's like, where else was we going to go? But something or nothing, these preseason camp videos, I seen that. I seen the George Pickens catch. It was kind of crazy, though. I ain't going to lie. And then what else? Oh, Devontae Smith doing ladders. Just all that stuff, all that hype. Like something or nothing to you. Are you ever buy into those preseason camp videos, or it's just they just there?
Yes and no. Like some people, the scouts or people that are media members that are at practice every day, the people they're talking about, they might end up breaking out, but most of the time, like everybody looks good in preseason. Everybody's balling out. Everybody's having in the best shape of their lives. Like, they always hype up this stuff, but referring to the Pickens video, it's yes and no. Like it's something we know he makes acrobatic catches. Like he's like a Des Bryant type of guy, but he's pushing off a lot in those videos.
Yeah, I'm about to say every
video is him pushing off, and they might call it or not. It's 50-50, but you never know. But it is something at the same time because I feel like him and Kenny Pickett do have somewhat of a good connection. You know, they both weren't starters when they first came in for camp last year, so they got a lot of reps together last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're both starters, you know, they have more rapport than he would have with Deontay Johnson or even Fryermuth. So it's something or nothing. And then referring to the Bijan video, nah. That's nothing. Asking a linebacker to cover a running back, a 4-4 running back in the middle of the field with no help, like it's 53 yards. The field is 53 yards wide, and you're asking him to cover him on the option route.
That's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening. I don't know the best pass covering linebacker of our time. Ray Lewis wasn't the best in pass coverage. He was straight, but you can't ask any linebacker to cover running back one-on-one. Maybe a safety. With all that grass, no, that's not happening. So, yeah, they're hyping that up. And a double move, some of those plays were sacks. Like, some of the plays were dead. Ball got to be out. So, any rookie that's making a play or a nice catch or a diving catch in shells or no pads on when they would have been laid out in 7-on-7, with pads on or 7-on-7, it's all hype to me. So, it's nothing.
Yeah, same here. Exactly what I was thinking. Like, especially like I said, the Bijan videos. And then, like I said, couple that with all the news that's been happening with the running backs this offseason, they having meetings and stuff about their market. Obviously there's still some that's unsigned. We don't know where Dalvin going. We don't know where Ezekiel's going. So that mixed in with, I think he has the highest guaranteed pay for a running back. Bijan does in their first year, something like that. I think he's getting like 11 million guaranteed or something like that. It's just crazy. So it's like all that mixed in. I was like, man. You know how we already kind of like the laughing stock in the NFL, and it's like we're supposed to have a little bit of expectations this year, but it's like I feel like it can easily just go right down the drain. And then on top of that, it's like other videos I was seeing, like certain passes to Kyle Pitts or Drake London, and even to Bijan, they'll always be like, "I wonder who threw that.
I do be saying that because I live in Georgia. I got a lot of friends that are Falcons fans, so they hate Ritter already. They treat him like Matt Ryan, and he hasn't even played a full season yet.
I know. It's crazy. I mean, I understand it a little bit to an extent, but like you said, he ain't even played a full season. Like he has 4 games on his belt, went 2-2. He didn't throw any interceptions, but I mean, he did kind of like a game manager. But I mean, he has a full season on his belt. He looked like he got a little bit stronger, but maybe he's settled. I've heard the last few days he's settling down a little bit. He's had better days with the 7-on-7s and 11-on-11. So hopefully, come first snap of preseason and first snap of when it really counts, he looks a little bit better. But I don't know, those type of videos. I'm saying they all are nothing. Like I said, I mean, we know what Devontae Smith can do. Like you said, we know type of athlete George Pickens was. Even seeing him at Georgia, I just don't buy too much into these plays. Like I said, guys like of their caliber and their athleticism, they're gonna make plays here and there. But just the overhype. I guess it's social media. Obviously, they just be overhyping it. So it's
that one page, bro. Real quick before we move on, that one page, like I don't think I've ever blocked anybody, but they might have to get blocked. So that rookie watch page, they hype up anybody.
Yeah.
I get tired of looking at it.
Yeah, I would say it ain't crossed my mind too much. I've seen it. I know which one you're talking about, but like you said, yeah, every single person, every single highlight, it's on there. They throwing something up there. So I don't know. Like I said, they all nothing to me, but we'll see come the season. But next, something to nothing, Alvin Kamara suspended 3 games. I think it was handed to him yesterday for his fight in, Las Vegas? I feel like that was forever ago.
Last year's Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I guess it was last year's Pro Bowl. But it really feel like it was a long time. I don't know, but something to nothing. I mean, I guess this is a little bit of something. But do you think 3 games was enough? Like, did you see the video? I kind of faintly remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember. I think if I am correct, like he kind of dog walked him. He kind of dragged you. But I don't know. Do you think the 3 games was like kind of, or he should have got more?
It's kind of. I can't remember in the past, like, people got suspended for stuff like this. Like, I've seen people hit women but not jump somebody. But, I mean, it's something, obviously, when you get suspended. And I literally watched the video. It's funny you brought it up. I watched it about 3-4 days ago, and it was pretty bad. Like, I'm not saying they're really killing them, but it was like 3 or 4 people, hitting them and stomping the dude out. So, for that to get caught on tape, he already knew what it was. Like, he sounded like he already took it on the chin and he was ready to move on and, move forward from it.
Yeah.
Especially after meeting with Goodell. So he knew he was going to get suspended. I'm mad they waited so long. Like, I mean, I get it. You got to investigate and do all that, but it's on video. No matter what he did, like even if he did hit a woman or something, y'all did get caught on camera jumping him, 4 people jumping him. So something was going to happen regardless of what he did, even if he was right or wrong. Like even if there was a reason for y'all jumping him, I'm not saying they're wrong for jumping him. He could have did something crazy, like hit his mom or something crazy. But the fact that it was on camera, the NFL had to do something about it.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said,
So yeah.
It's like the balls in their court. Like we judge the NFL for a lot of different things because the type of suspensions that they've handed out for certain things in the past. So, they're never really consistent with the type of punishments that they do give out and hand out. They are, but it's like consistent in a bad way. Obviously, like you alluded to, like certain situations where we've seen where players have gotten caught, beating or assaulting, their girlfriends or wives, whatever the case may be. But even with guys getting suspended maybe 6 games for that, and then all these players that's getting suspended for gambling for a year indefinitely.
It's nothing to talk about. You go.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Like betting on the game, you can get you losing basically your whole career, but
your whole check for the year too. You're not getting paid.
Yeah, but you can fight somebody 3 games, 6 games. Like
oh man, I might be tripping. I really can't remember. I should remember this because it was so vital in the Chiefs not winning the Super Bowl. But Kareem Hunt.
Oh yeah.
His second year, I know he led the league in rushing his first year, but his second year, they were like, he got caught on video kicking the girl. I think it was like 12, like it was towards the end of the season. And I don't know if he got suspended for games after that. I'm pretty sure he did because I know he got released by the Chiefs, but that was a situation I was trying to compare. Like he literally, I don't know what you call it. I forgot, like roundhouse kick, or he kicked the girl. He kicked the girl on camera, and I don't think he got a year anything crazy.
I think he had, like you said, maybe sat out the rest of the got suspended for the rest of that year, and then I think he got suspended like the next year. Yeah, I think he had 6 games or 8 games, something like that. I don't know, but he had a good amount of games for the next year. But like you said, he's been in the league ever since. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like you said, their punishments aren't very consistent, but that's the NFL for you. But to me, like I said, I guess it's something. I'm saying it's something only because of obviously it's something because of the context of what happened, but it's something because his team is. We really don't know what's going to happen in NFL in NFC South at all. Right now, I think the Saints are supposed to be considered the front runners because they have the most experience overall on their team, but obviously with at the quarterback position as well. And they still got a lot of playmakers over there too. So, but these 3 games could be crucial. Who knows? And it may come down to the end of the season where it's a 1-2 game difference in who's going to win the NFC South, because it could be. It's more likely going to be a very, very, very bad. Like the winner of the division probably going to be closer to 500 in my opinion. But I think the 3 games is definitely something because their season can go either way depending on how they come out those first 3 games. They go 0-3, 1-2, or even be 3-0, be in prime position to take that division. So I don't know, something in that course. But if you said, I guess nothing because he already knew it was coming. I don't know why they waited to the beginning of the season, but
I understand it. Like everything, you got to have the due diligence. You got to investigate, but it's right there on camera. It's not like you got to gather evidence. Like the video was out a long, long time ago, and they waited. I really just don't get it. But they did what they had to do. It could have been worse. It could have been 6 games. Could have been 8 games.
Could have been a year.
They broke. I'm pretty sure they broke his jaw or something. Like his.
I remember. Yeah, I think he broke his jaw
or his eye, so the orbital bone, whatever. But yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah, but last one. I know. I'm sure you got a chance to watch the documentary as well, or some of the episodes. Quarterback. They featured, reigning NFL MVP and Super Bowl winning champ Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and former Falcons quarterback Mariota. Just I guess we can get into thoughts on it afterwards. But something and nothing is there's a bunch of quarterbacks turning it down. I know they said they talked to Dak. I think they talked to Lamar. Sam Howell even turned it down. Like a bunch of, just a bunch of different quarterbacks in a bunch of different positions have been saying no to it. So I know Dak was on record saying that they get enough media attention in Dallas, which is true. So I really wouldn't. I'm fine with him not being on there anyway. I'm cool with him not being on there. But why do you think so many in my opinion, I'm thinking of course they kind of went into their personal lives a little bit. I don't know if they just don't want that or they just want to more so focus on the season. Like I don't know what it really could be. I mean, there's a few things here and there that we can maybe point to, but what do you think it is? Why they're turning it down, and do you think it's something or nothing?
It's something kind of, but you kind of already hinted at it. Basically, I don't think every quarterback wants their life broadcasted. Mahomes, it's kind of like he kind of set the tone though, like the best quarterback in the league, the best player in the league. Like he was on there season 1, and he won a Super Bowl. But
yeah,
you have somebody like you mentioned the media in Dallas, Aaron Rodgers, even Sam Howell. Who else turned it down? He's a star. I think maybe Kenny Pickett or somebody like that. Like for some people, young people like that, my mindset. I don't know if it's theirs, but I'd be like, I haven't done anything yet. I haven't even established myself as the franchise quarterback. Like going forward,
exactly.
This is my first year starting. I haven't done anything in this league. I haven't won games like that. Why would I put myself out there? And then for some people, their stats drop off. They just have a rough season. It's going to be blamed on the doc. Cameras are around you. You had too much going on. You weren't fully focused on the important stuff, film, all that stuff. They don't want to hear all that stuff. I'm pretty sure they don't care, but they don't, want to add unnecessary noise around their name if they're not, playing as well. But I just don't think people, some people are private. Like some people, if I was in the NFL, I would not care. If I was an established quarterback, like a top 15 quarterback, I wouldn't really care. I wouldn't let it get in the way. But some people don't want that stuff around their family. People don't want their personal life exposed, what they're doing,
broadcast and
everything, all that stuff. But talking about the show, that's why I don't think they want to do it. But I think it's just it's a hit. I could tell I'd say by the second episode that it was a hit. I really like the show. I watched it in 2 days, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I think I did too. It was about 2, 3 at most, but it might have been all. It might all have been one night. It was either one night or 2 for sure. But yeah, I definitely watched the whole thing. It was only 8 episodes, so.
Yeah, and it makes you, have a deeper appreciation. I already had a deep appreciation for quarterbacks, but it shows what they go through and what's on their table. Some people might call Kirk Cousins soft because he was like, I need a day off. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. It's his day away from football, but it's a mental grind, and you got to do whatever you got to do to be ready, for Sunday. So I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. Mariota was okay. He was a little stale.
He definitely was. Yeah, I was about to hit on that. I'm like, I don't know, what's wrong with bro? Like he just wasn't. I don't know if it was the cameras or what it is. If he's more like you said more so private, personal, with his family. But it's just even when they were showing him on the field, in practices and sometimes in the game. In the game, I think maybe the first game he was a little hype, but it just it just wasn't it. I mean,
hey, and then on the other side, you see the other side of the quarterbacks, Kirk. I already liked him, but he's a solid dude. He doesn't really care. He's just chilling, does his own thing. His wife dresses him. He's just out there to play football and win games. And then Pat, I already knew he was kind of cocky, but you see the confident side of him, the way he was talking to Crosby or how he told Hurts he ordered an Airbnb months before.
Yeah,
for him to say that in the AFC is crazy. It's not going to happen this year, by the way. But just seeing the different sides of all the quarterbacks, I really enjoyed it. And I think a big name already signed up for next year, so I'm looking forward to it. I forgot the name. They just announced that they might be on it, and it's a solid quarterback. I forgot his name.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, because like you said, like you said, even you would think that Kurt might have been the most stale one, but I mean, he has a personality, he has a little bit of underneath personality, even though it's may just seem like he's just a normal white quarterback, but he was definitely. I like seeing his side of things as well. Like you said, taking a day or two off, especially being a veteran and being a quarterback. He should definitely get the nod for that. Because out of all the quarterbacks that was getting hit, that's the one thing I wanted to hit on. I know it's sound effects and obviously editing and everything that's put into it, but some of them hits that he was taking, well, really all of them, but especially Kurt, someone he was taking, he just couldn't get up and he was moaning and groaning, trying to roll over. I was yeah. Obviously, we didn't play football. I done seen you get hit a couple times, but yeah, the way he was getting ate up on some of them. I forgot who it was, who they played. I think it was I don't know if it was the Steelers, it was somebody, but they ate him up and they told him to get up. I was like, yeah, yeah, he gonna need some off days. Like he was hurting, but
it's real quick. It's rough. Like, as a quarterback, it doesn't matter the level. Like, you got to think about it. You're getting hit, and you know how like you'll see quarterbacks get happy feet and stuff. Hopefully, like this documentary shows like why some quarterbacks get nervous in the pocket. They're not trying to sit in the pocket and take them hits. Like, I give Kirk credit. Sometimes he is a little gun shy or scary.
yeah,
But for the most part, he be standing in there and taking it. Like, wait till the last second. He's not shying from contact. So it's kind of funny to see people finally realize, like, how the quarterbacks be getting beat up. And then you got to be pinpoint accurate. Like, you're not going to throw a repass from a clean pocket. It's rough. Yeah. And they got to do it. They got to throw the ball at least, 35, 40 times a game. So
exactly.
It's rough. But, yeah, it was a dope show, real dope show. And I'm looking forward to the future seasons.
Yeah. Prez asked a great question, actually. Before we segue to the next, who would you pick for your 3 quarterbacks to be on the show next?
You want to go first? I got to think a little deeper. Obviously, I know who one is, but
yeah, I know 2 for sure that I would want. Like, obviously, I think it may be easy to point to, but I kind of would want to see Lamar on there. Like, I mean, we kind of see his personality a little bit already, but I would like to see Lamar on there, especially like the storylines that have always been talked about him, about the running back thing, and then obviously his offseason that just passed with the extension and everything. I would like to see Lamar on there for sure, just to want to see the behind the scenes stuff. Because I mean, obviously, I think we would relate to it, but then also just like all the other noise that be happening around him that he's always had to deal with. So I think it would be dope to see Lamar for sure. Outside of that, I would want to see. I'd want to see what you call it, Jalen Hurts. I kind of would want to see as well. It'd kind of be like a similar type thing. I mean, his from his story from college all the way to where he is now. Like most people didn't think he'd be a Super Bowl caliber type quarterback. Obviously got his team there. And, more expectations this year. So I definitely think I'd want to see him as well. I think he has chill type personality, but I think like behind the cameras he'd be a firm personality to see as well. And then last one, I think I would want to see like I don't know why it kind of just popped up randomly, but I think I'd want to see like Baker Mayfield. Like I don't like him, but I think like his path now is just super weird. And now he's possibly he's battling out for the starting quarterback position for Tampa Bay, but I think he's gonna get it. But just like kind of like where he went from first overall pick to like people in Cleveland really like him, and then like kind of like where he is now, I think it'd be a nice little storyline to like talk about and then also follow. So I think those would be my 3 at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of I know this is not going to happen because I know they want like a franchise quarterback or a star or like a younger quarterback, but I'm taking like 3 established quarterbacks. So not established. Trevor's not established yet, but Trevor number 1, obviously. 2 was Lamar for me for sure. Lamar would be interesting. And then this is a weird one. I don't know why. I don't know why I want to see like one of the NFC North quarter, not Cousins obviously, but I think I want to see Jared Goff for some weird reason. I was gonna say Justin Fields, but I didn't want to. That's kind of too.
Oh yeah, he turned it down too. I forgot. Yeah, he was one of the ones that turned it down.
Yeah, he's already. I know why he turned it down. When I was talking about quarterbacks that feel like they haven't established himself, like I feel like his mindset is like people, they are disrespecting him. People calling him a running back already and stuff. So he's trying to lock in, and this is a big year for him. But those are my 3. I say Jared Goff, Lamar, and Trevor, all 3 kind of like different personalities. Even though Jared and Trevor kind of like the same person. But yeah, those 3. Lamar for sure though. Lamar would be a good one.
Yeah. Good question, Press. Appreciate that. We might have to post that on the network's page, or we'll post it somewhere because I wanted to see what other people would think too. But after that, we're going to segue a little bit over into just NFL preseason, not preseason, NFL preseason, but also some training camp talk, just some things that may be surrounding our teams, other teams, just doubts that we got coming into the NFL 23-24 season. So yeah, just I guess kind of like first impressions, outlook. We'll start on our teams. Obviously, we always like to start on our teams. Just kind of things we've heard, things we've liked, disliked, that we've seen in camp, things we're looking forward to, the expectations. Like I said, your team got a little bit more lofty expectations probably than mine. But what are some of your first impressions of camp and just things that you've heard about your squad?
Heard a lot of good things so far. This is one of the more talented rosters we've ever had. Like, not counting the 90s, but since then, our good little 4-year run, this is probably the second or third most talented roster we've ever had. There's depth everywhere. We have backups that can make plays that are, we'll have to hold on in the practice squad so other teams don't swoop up. I've heard a lot of good things, which I'm happy about. The tight end room, our second round pick, Brandon Strange, he's been a catch magnet. He hasn't, I'd say they say he's only let 1 or 2 passes touch the ground. So that's good catching the ball. Garrett Prince, a guy that was on our practice squad all last year from UAB, second-year guy, is making a ton of plays. And then we have Evan Ingram as well. So, like, if they're talking about trying to keep 4 or 5 tight ends, that's a good thing. A lot of depth there. Our young rookies are stepping up in the secondary, which we really need, because I got to segue into that after that. Eric Hallett and Antonio Johnson. Antonio Johnson was somebody I was high on. We snagged him in the 6th round, and he was like a 2nd or 3rd round guy. And he's been making a lot of plays in the slot. But to segue into that, talking about my team, the only thing I'm mad about from the offseason, we didn't make too many moves because we had a lot of people, set in position, but we didn't address our defense at all. We didn't address the pass rush. We didn't address the secondary. I mean, okay, Darius Williams is solid. Tyson Campbell's our cornerback 1, and then our safeties are good, but our nickel corner, Trey Herndon, has been a problem for years. Like, okay, he had a nice little run when Jalen Ramsey got hurt, but he's not a consistent guy. He's not the guy you want starting, guarding. What are some of the slots? What if Tyreek Hill has to come in the slot? And we play man a lot. He's just not the best guy. When we played the Cowboys, every time CeeDee Lamb lined up in front of him, it was barbecue chicken. So us not addressing our pass rush and our cornerback room is the only thing in the offseason that I really disapproved of. And don't get me wrong, Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen are really, really good players, like defensive players, but they're not the best pass rushers. Like, I watch a lot of All-22 for my team and some other teams, but they're really good in the run game, like very, very good. Like, Trayvon Walker is not top tier just yet, but he's in that top half of run defenders on the edge. He's really strong, really athletic. But from sacks, production, we need sacks. We need turnovers. They haven't really produced. Obviously, it's early, and we're comparing him to Aiden Hutchinson, who kind of like popped early on, so it's kind of tough being the number 1 pick who people talked about we were going to take over him for years. Well, not years, but months. And for, him not to produce, I mean, it is what it is, but I just like to see a little bit more. And, okay, maybe he's a late bloomer. He's developing. He might develop by the end of the season or the back half of the season. Why not bring in a veteran that's known for pass rushing, a Justin Houston or something like that? We let Ngakoue sit out there for a while, and the Bears swooped them up. It's just annoying that there were a whole bunch of veteran pass rushers, and we didn't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
But other than that, looking forward to the team. Obviously, you heard about the Calvin Ridley stuff. Offense looks good and in sync, so that's good to hear. And I can't wait to see what he does because, as you know, he's a very good deep threat and going to give more opportunities for our other guys to eat. Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, everything. The short and the intermediate game is going to be wide open because of him. It's just gonna make our offense that much harder to stop. So I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate you guys giving him away for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I would say they gave him away for nothing. I'm looking forward to him balling out so we can get that 2nd round pick in return, hopefully. But I figure you was going to touch on him at some point. But he's looked really good in the videos I've seen in training camp as well. Like you said, I think what he hurt was it ankle or hamstring? It was something lower leg, right?
No, he was having cleat problems. You know how it is when you got to break in cleats.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. So he's gonna be all right. Yeah. So he's gonna be straight, but. Yeah, I mean, same thing with my Falcons. Like I said, I alluded to it earlier in the show. Some of the videos, obviously, like the Bijan Robinson videos, it's kind of annoying. I guess people like to see them, but kind of annoying. Some of the passing videos that we've seen where, either catches have been made or passes have been broken up, and everybody's like, oh, who threw that? Who threw that? Obviously, either talking about Desmond Ridder. They could even be talking, about our backup. But regardless, those type of videos, it's just been annoying to kind of just see it on the internet. Like I said, I know he has what they deem accurate or being accurate. He has issues with that. And obviously a few other questions around his game. He doesn't have a strong arm either. But I think Arthur Smith is gonna obviously hone in on that. We've been a run first team since the second, third game of last year anyway. So, and obviously with the pickup of Bijan, he's going to help him in the run game and the pass game. And we still have obviously Cordell Patterson and Tyler Algier. So should be fine there. But I guess the biggest thing, the things I've seen out of camp, Clark Phillips, I know he was going to be a good pick. I think he's a little undersized, but I mean, he just has that heart. He has that dog, and he's a great man cover guy. And I think they're going to try to play a little bit more man this year. Hopefully, create a little bit more pass rush because of the guys that we supposedly signed in the offseason, and then bolstering up our secondary as well. I think they got a lot of guys that can hold their own and play man. So he's another guy. He might have a little bit of opportunity, obviously, with Jeff Okudah going down. They say he should be ready first week of the season, but you never know. They might throw him in the slot. They might throw him outside. But he's been a really bright spot, I think, in our rookie draft class. And then also we picked, I think, Zach Harrison. They said he's been playing well as well. Playing off the edge. He's had I've seen a few videos where he's pancake guys and been able to get to the ball pretty quickly. And that's one thing that we've been missing as well. Like you said too, like I know we signed a lot of defensive guys in the offseason. Kind of like everywhere, like all three levels actually. But I kind of wanted, that established veteran as well. Like obviously we got Calais Campbell, but he 38. Like can't ask too much.
Only good for a couple plays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna throw him in third. Like we need a crucial third down stop. Like he's 38, bro, or 30. He's 36 or 37. He's somewhere in there. He's high 30s. He's really in there just to be the voice of the locker room. So I kind of wanted, like I said, a more established veteran. Pass rusher as well that we could have brought in, but I guess they felt like they were done spending money. So they kind of spread it out and gave it to a lot of different spots with extensions and 2-3 year deals as well. So outside of that, Drake London still looks pretty good. I think he's in for a breakout season. Haven't seen too much of Kyle Pitts, but I think they said he's on track and he looks pretty healthy. I've seen like a few plays last week or so, and then Matt Bergeron, I think I said his last name right, but I think he might end up being our starting right guard. Yeah, our starting right guard. No, our starting left guard. My fault, because I think he overtook Matt Hennessy's spot, and that was another second round or third round pick that we had this past offseason. So I think the rookies are going to help us a lot. Hopefully, play big games, play big minutes for us, and hopefully we're primed for a winning season because we haven't had one since 2019, 18, 19, one of those 2 years. So I'm looking forward to it. I just hope we're able to piece it all together and we're not able to blow leads like we've been doing the past few years when we've looked good for the first 3 quarters and then just skunk it away in the fourth. So I don't know.
That's the Falcons for you.
That's definitely the Falcons for us. Do you believe in Rick? I personally am going to give him a chance. And this was a topic I meant to put in, but we can put it in somewhere when we talk about the storylines. Because all the people that came to Jordan Love's defense, was it yesterday, today? that was getting on Adam Schefter heavy. But I personally, I don't think he's the long-term answer, but I am willing to give him a shot this season. Like I said, he got better each and every game last year in the 4 games that we got to see him. He didn't really have much of a veteran presence or help when he was thrown into the starting spot, as we saw with the quarterback documentary, and just knew overall Mariota left the team, I guess, to get surgery and focus on next year who he was going to sign with. So, which I meant to touch on it when we were talking about it. That was bullshit to me. That was straight bullshit. Like you could have did that, but also been, I'm not saying you have to look out for Ritter or like be there to be that veteran presence, but don't just up and lead the team just because you're getting benched. That's crazy, bro. Like that's kind of wild to me. But yeah, I personally, to answer your question, Anthony, I don't believe him as the long-term starter, but I'm willing to give him a shot this year because I feel like we have enough playmakers to kind of help him transition and be a solid quarterback for us, but I don't think he's the answer overall. But what do you think, Dad? What do you think of like the 4 games you saw from last year? What do you think he will do for
I
us?
didn't really watch too much of it. The one game I did watch was the Ravens game, and he looked pretty decent at times. Well, I know for one thing, him and Drake London have a real,
They have
not
a good connection,
but a pretty solid connection. You could tell like right off the jump. But I mean, he looked all right. It's kind of weird. Tell me if you agree. Like people from Atlanta, they want something extra flashy. Like they didn't. Matt Ryan was a French Hall of Famer. He's not going to the Hall of Fame, but he was one of those players that was, kind of close. Like Phillip
You don't think he's going to the Hall of Fame?
No, I don't. I think he's like really close to getting in, but I don't think he's going to get in.
Yeah, I can see it.
Falcons fans were content with him. I don't know what y'all deal is, but ever since Mike Vick left, y'all want a flashy quarterback. A quarterback is going to run around and throw it 70 yards. Why not just get a winner and a solid?
But you know how the city is, like especially if you're talking to a specific like demographic of Falcon fans. You know how the city is.
That's you know black people, black Falcons fans.
Exactly. Yeah, we can say it. Yeah, black Falcon fans don't want no white quarterback. They fell in love with Vick, especially like older heads. Some our age that kind of be like that. But yeah, I don't know. No one will ever admit it, but Matt Ryan has been the best quarterback in our franchise.
Okay, listen.
Hands down.
I saw this on Twitter the other day, and I almost tagged you or sent it to you. Another guy was like, he was complaining about how I guess Matt Ryan's jersey is going to get put up one day. I'm pretty sure it is. Mm-hmm. I'm 99% sure it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, Mike Vick's isn't up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. All right. And they were like, how Matt Ryan's jersey going to get hung up, but Vick's not? And I wanted to comment, but I was like, I'm going to just let it go. He was a better quarterback. They just don't get it. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not impressed with anything unless they look like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or
Lamar
or Jalen Hurts.
Those obviously don't grow on trees. Like we're not getting those. And then people are still talking about why we didn't get Justin Fields. Like
they wanted Deshaun too. Remember that they wanted Deshaun bad.
True. I mean, yeah, they went after him. And that's why we ended up without Matt. And that's why we're in the situation that we in now. But I mean, in the end, it shouldn't have went down the way it went down with Deshaun. Trying to go get Deshaun, not telling Matt and everything, but it ended up working out in our favor, I would say, because we ended up getting off a lot of money. Got off a lot of money. Obviously, was able to spend it this offseason and turn things kind of around quickly. I mean, it's still up in the air because we don't know what's going to happen this year. But I think it was a blessing in disguise. Essentially, I mean, I wasn't ready to let him go, but the type of style of offense that Arthur Smith ran, I knew that coming into the year when he got hired. I'm like, it doesn't even fit. So it's like he wasn't going to be there long anyway. So whatever.
Listen, bro, you watched that last season in Indy. We played him twice. I will say the last game, this is when I almost threw my towel in his Jaguars. He threw for 400 against us. Yeah. But that last season was bad. You can just tell when like it's time for somebody to hang it up. Same with Tom Brady. You could just tell this year, like Father Time kicks in quick. But I was saying all that stuff before we move on. I was saying all that stuff about Ritter and comparing Matt Ryan and Michael Vick to say, give your quarterback time, please. Give him time. Like, it's a slow process. Like you said, those quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Josh Allen didn't really pop. I'm not saying he's Josh Allen. He's not. But Josh Allen didn't pop until almost end of year 2. So, and he had a full year starting before that. So just give your quarterback time and, let's see what he does. Maybe he's really good. You never know. You guys have, maybe enough weapons. You know your team better than me, but you guys have enough weapons to see if he can play or not.
Yeah, I think we still. When going back to the signing before we move on, I would have rather them signed one more like kind of playmaker at wide receiver, and then like I said, the edge rusher. But yeah, because like wide receiver wise, like we have Drake London, then our wide receiver 2 is Mac Hollins. Like he's more so like a pass, like a run pass blocker. Like he's not really someone that we finna be throwing to a lot. So, and then the next in line is what Cordell Hodges or something like that. Then
your receiver
Darby, our receiver room is ass for sure. So I don't know. I'm hoping they pick up somebody. Did Jarvis Landry sign with somebody? I know that was a name that kept saying.
That's a crazy name I didn't even think about. I don't even think he might. No, he's probably still in the Saints.
I think he was a free agent. I don't know. They kept saying he was out there, so I don't know. But it's crazy. I remember ain't no Hall of Fame, but Tony Romo is. That's all I'm thinking. Like,
you think? I think Tony and Matt are in the same exact boat. Like, I do think, me personally, like, I do think Tony Romo was. I don't think he was better. I don't know. Matt Ryan was better, but I like Tony Romo more. I thought his peak was. I can't say that.
Yeah,
I'm
they
kind of
never got.
contradicting
Did
myself.
they never got to the NFC Championship?
No,
Like
they lost.
they always get bounced in that second round, if that
They
first
lost to
round.
Green Bay, and
Yeah,
then they lost the Giants the year they won the Super Bowl the first time in '07. Because I remember they had T.O. and they were the number 1 seed.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know. That was a tough thing he said. Though. I don't necessarily think that Tony Romo was the
Romo don't
Hall of
got no
Fame.
MVP, do we? That's the
Nah,
one thing I'm holding on to. I'm like Matt Ryan, his career numbers are better. He leads our franchise in pretty much every obviously
everything.
passing
He just
statistical
had to win that Super
category.
Bowl, bro. If he would have won the
Yeah,
Super Bowl,
he'd have been a lock, but
but Tony, yeah, nah. Before we move on, Tony, like I think Tony was a little better. I don't know. He was in that top 5, top 10 category for a while. I mean, Matt Ryan was up there too. It's kind of hard, but yeah, they're real close, but they're not getting in it. If I had to, vote on it, they're right there.
yeah, I think eventually like it'd be one of those obviously,
Later on,
or yeah, later on, like just way later on, it's probably gonna happen for both. But yeah, first impression. I mean, we already hit on our first impressions for our teams. Real quick before I guess we move on, just outlooks on like other teams. Like obviously, I didn't see much of it, but the Hall of Fame game was yesterday or 2 days ago. So obviously Aaron Rodgers didn't play, but Zach Wilson did. And then was it Peoples Johnson? What that
DTR, the
yeah,
Julian
DTR.
Thompson Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson. I don't know why I said Peoples Johnson. Yeah, Robinson.
He's
So
on. No, he's on. People Jones is on the team, but he's
team,
not the quarterback.
I'm tripping. People Jones is the wide receiver, but they said he looked really good. I didn't catch too much of the game. I knew it was close to. I think I watched like the last drive, and then whoever was the third, fourth string quarterback threw a pick to end the game. But just outlooks, first impressions on just other teams that you might have seen, might have heard of, who's been doing well in camp, stuff like that.
I've heard a lot of good things about Zay Flowers. I'm really just looking forward to that AFC North as a whole. Like the Browns, they get talked about every year, and they never put it together. But I feel like this is the first year they have quarterback, full off season. The roster is looking good on both sides of the ball. The Ravens are stacked. Yeah, you said Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I said got him as a defensive coordinator.
DC, yeah, he's a very good DC. The Ravens finally surrounded Lamar with some help. OBJ is not OBJ from the Giants, but he's still solid. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman coming off an injury. If he can stay healthy, he looked good when he was healthy. Like the AFC North is gonna be crazy. I'm so glad I'm in the sweet division. You're in the sweet division too, but I'm so glad to be in the AFC South because the AFC is crazy. Like when you think about it, we talk about it later on in the season. Like some of the names, when you write down all the quarterback names, like some of the quarterbacks that are not going to make the playoffs, it's insane. But the Browns, the Ravens, obviously I've been paying attention to the Titans a little bit. I feel like people are sleeping on them. I still think we're going to win the division, but as long as Rabel's the head coach and they have Tannehill and they have Henry,
they always got a shot. Yeah,
and he has his eyes on that defense. Yeah, it's going to be tough sledding. But those are the main 3 teams, that I've been looking at. The Dolphins too, from time to time, because the AFC East is going to be crazy. Looking at them, I just think honestly, the only thing that's stopping them is Tua's health. When he was healthy, what they look like, and it just makes me think how crazy the playoffs are going to be this year. I know, like, I don't want to rush through the season because it always goes by so fast and it hasn't even started yet. But the playoffs are going to be crazy because I have no idea who's going to win with this crazy AFC. So basically those are the 3 or 4 teams that I've been paying attention to and having eyes on. I haven't really paid attention to the NFC as much, as usual.
It's not much too. Yeah, I was in the last few years, it's definitely flipped. Like I remember when the NFC was
way tougher,
top heavy for sure. Like the mid 2010s, and then it just hit a flip like 2017 ish. Like whenever Mahomes and all of them obviously in the league, like it started to flip. AFC.
Y'all division was kind of crazy back then. Now that you brought that up, though, not crazy, but y'all had Cam and Drew Brees. They were 11-win teams almost every year. Not almost every year. The Panthers had bad years, but still.
Yeah. So it is definitely flipped. The AFC is very, very, very top heavy, middle heavy, everything heavy. Like there's a lot of good teams on that side of the ball, which gives me even more hope because, like you said, NFC not much there anymore. But going on kind of like to the biggest kind of like storylines that we've had throughout the offseason going into this upcoming season. Some of them, obviously, Sean Payton being the head coach now of the Denver Broncos. And what did he say about Nathaniel Hackett the other day? He said it was the worst coaching job he's probably ever seen.
Said a lot of things that he shouldn't have said. He was punch drunk on the mic because he just let it fly. Some of those things you just keep in house. I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought it was a terrible coaching job. I remember watching the first game versus the Seahawks and the clock management at the end. I was like, yeah, this guy's unaware.
He talked about that. Yeah, that was god awful. That was one of the worst blunders, like I said, clock manager we've seen in a minute.
You don't even see that in high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was too much. What are your comments on that though? What he said?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's probably a little distasteful. I guess he's just being honest in a sense, but like you said, just not professional. I guess that you would want a head coach to go about it. But I mean, is that Sean Payton? I guess that is Sean Payton. I mean, that's kind of been his like MO throughout his career. I mean, stuff with Bounty Gate, like even stuff that he just said when he was on air. He was on Fox this past season. So I mean, it's just kind of maybe that's just kind of like him. That's his personality, which I mean, you I guess take it or leave it if you like it or hate it. But I mean, like I said, it's not something that you'd want to see from your head coach, especially now that you're leading that team and they still have a good amount of those players that was on that squad last year. So I mean, you don't want to kind of put a bad taste in their mouth either. Like you're the supposed to be the leader in a sense of the team, and you're kind of talking about the job that they did in a sense as well. Because I mean, like it's not all on Nathaniel Hackett. Like he had a lot of coaching blunders. They had a very bad season, especially when they had high hopes going into it. But like you said, just want to keep some of that stuff in house and just build on what they're doing and try to do this upcoming year. So yeah, but outside of that, I mean, other big stories obviously with the quarterback battle. It's not even really a battle, but just like the I don't know, the quarterback's room in San Fran. Like, what do you think about that? It's like I feel like they always kind of start out the year like this, doing stuff like this. Like they have like 2-3 guys that's a possibility that they're supposed to start, or something happened to them. So like now they made one lost their starting spot, one rises to the top, and now they got two first round picks of quarterbacks in the room, and then Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy's the one that's supposed to be starting the season. So kind of what you think about that quarterback battle? What do you think they're gonna do with Trey Lance too? Like, you think he's there throughout the whole season? Team, you never know. I guess a team may have a major injury at quarterback and someone makes a move in a panic to try to trade for him, something like that. What do you think happens with that quarterback room?
Obviously it's not a battle. If Brock is healthy, he's going to play, but it's just, it's better than nothing. I'd say this is, I don't know. Trey Lance is okay. I would say it's a top tier quarterback room, but depth wise, like Sam Darnold is a pretty good backup. He can win some games for you. And Kyle Shanahan over the years has shown that he can pretty much win with any quarterback. And Sam Darnold's talented. If he can get him in a controlled environment, I feel like he can, get the best out of him. But I think it's a good thing to have. Like, obviously, you want your guy. 2 quarterbacks is not good. Like, 2 quarterbacks neck and neck isn't good. But to have 3 quarterbacks that can play or serviceable, is okay. But to speak on Trey Lance, I kind of feel bad for the dude. He was an FCS guy, so a lot of people already doubted him. And then he was drafted over Mac Jones, Justin Fields. And people talk about for years all the Niners need is a quarterback, and a quarterback that will stay healthy. And, he just – first year he had to sit out. He was learning. This year they gave him the keys. He broke his leg second game of the year. And then Purdy comes in and wins 7 games and almost takes him to the Super Bowl. And they might have gone to the Super Bowl, might have won if he stayed healthy.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation. Like, if Purdy goes 2-5, 3-4, it's a QB competition and coming into the season. But the fact that he went 7-0 and he didn't flinch in the playoffs either, like, you can't sit this dude down. Like, no matter what you invested or given up to get Trey Lance, and this dude was Mr. Irrelevant, got to put the best players on the field. I mean, you just got to eat it now. I think that's what the Niners are kind of doing. But like I'd say the moment they trade him is when they really throwing in the towel. But I just feel bad for the dude because I mean, okay, he's not the best quarterback, but he hasn't been given a full sample size.
Exactly.
He literally this season he had the monsoon in Chicago the first game of the year. No quarterback wants to play in that.
Playing that, yeah.
Somebody off the monsoon. If you have to wear a glove to throw the ball, come on now. And then he breaks his leg in the second quarter or late first? Like he didn't even get a fair shake at it. So I really want him to get traded, but I feel like the Niners kind of don't want to do that, and they're holding on because you never know if Purdy stays healthy the whole season, he balls out. Trey Lance is gone, but if he gets hurt, he's right back at the the totem pole with another opportunity. So we'll see. I just feel bad for the dude because it's not like he's not like Zach Wilson. He's played a year and a half and it's been terrible. Dude hasn't even got to start more than 5 games. He played a couple games last year and he got hurt because Kyle Shanahan was running him like he was prime Cam Newton, but he just hasn't got an opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I had heard rumors that the Falcons may have tried to trade for him. I don't know how much truth there was into that, but I mean, who knows? Like I say, it come down. They're in a good position, like you said, because I mean, we don't really know too much of what he can do. But I mean, he went, was it 3rd overall?
Third.
So, yeah, he went 3rd overall. So I mean,
and they traded up. Remember that? Like I think this pick.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Trade up with the Dolphins. I think that pick turned into Waddle and something else. So and I think it was it was Waddle in the 1st round pick they traded that the Dolphins traded to get Tyreek Hill. So
yeah.
Hey man.
It's a lot, like you said, it's a lot invested into him. So I mean, like he's gonna be in that quarterback room until something's finalized, a decision made. Like you said, Purdy balls out, or he may be right back in that spot, depending on if there's an injury that does happen. I think he's 3rd in line right now, but who knows? Or someone could say someone may just trade for him because they may end up needing a quarterback. But outside of that, like I said, we kind of touched on it in the beginning, but the Jordan Love, Jordan Love's story with Adam Schefter is more so, I guess, about like what's going to happen with them. Obviously, they traded Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love is now, primed to start and be the leader of that team. But I mean, that team just honestly, I don't want to say a rebuild, but it's remodeling, I guess, of that team. So I mean, I don't really know what we're going to expect from them, the type of team they're going to be throughout the year. But what do you think of them, and what do you think of Jordan Love as a whole, like with the Adam Schefter situation? Like he went a little too far with saying that he's not an NFL quarterback, or
Schefter's job is to report the breaking news. I don't want to really hear him talk about, he doesn't think he's capable. He's not a good thrower of the football. I don't think that's Schefter's thing. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. He's not. I wouldn't say a legend. Maybe he's a legend in his field, but that's not what he should be doing.
You need to stick to journalism.
Yeah, stick to journalism. Don't take shots. You're not a journalism that played. He might have played, but I doubt it. Not even in high school. But so for him to take a shot at a quarterback like that, I just hate how they do this stuff. Like they take all these shots or have all these negative things to say, but as soon as the quarterback gets a chance and becomes a star, like they're their biggest fan, or they have nothing bad to say about him, or no shots. I mean, I guess it's how it works, but it's not like Jordan Love's out here tooting his own horn. He's out here just handling business and trying to play football. But to talk about the Packers, I'm honestly just interested in that whole division as a whole. With A-Rod going, it's up for grabs. The Vikings got rid of their whole team. Not their whole team, but a lot of key players.
They didn't re-sign
the
them.
Lions finished the season real hot, but you never know. They can finish the season hot and then completely, fold
Come
with
back out like the Lions,
Yeah, like the Lions, the Packers. I mean, all right, let me talk about the Bears first. But the Bears spent all their money basically surrounding Justin Fields with a lot of weapons and, give him an opportunity to show if he's the guy or not. But the Packers, I mean, they have an opportunity to take it. A lot of people have them 3rd or 4th, but, that defense is still there. They didn't lose anybody on the defense. Still have Aaron Jones. Still have their offensive line. I know Tanya left, but I think Tanya went to the Bears. Matter of fact, but you still got most of the supporting cast on the team and all like the key players. And I personally think the same thing I said early on about Kenny Pickett and George Pickens is the same thing that's kind of happened with Jordan Love and Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. Like they weren't immediately, starting. They were behind Lazard and maybe somebody else. So they got a lot of reps together in the preseason. And I just feel like their rapport is better than people are giving them credit for. So when they get out there, it's not going to be as, it's not going to be a 4 to 6 week adjustment period. I feel like they're going to kind of hit the ground running because they got a lot of reps last year. So I'm interested to see what he does. He's been sitting for a while. I know usually, when quarterbacks are really, really good and they're not playing, there's a lot of stuff you hear in practice and training camp, but we haven't heard too much about it. But maybe he's just a gamer. Some guys are better in the games than in practice. So I'm just interested to see what they do. He's walking into a good situation. It's not like he's taking over for who's a terrible roster. He's not walking into the Cardinals roster. Like he's walking into a fringe playoff team that would have made it if they handle business. And I feel like he's going to do well. I mean, we'll find out, obviously, but I'm optimistic about how he's going to be. It's not like he looked terrible when he played. He looked okay in his one start versus the Chiefs, and people bashed him because he didn't look like Arod. But
yeah,
I think the Packers are going to be okay. I really don't know who's going to win that division. If you pick today, it's
if them in the NFC South probably the two most tossed up divisions. Like we just have no clue what's going to go on. To be honest, like you said, like I guess if we had to pick out of that division just because they have a little bit more seniority. But, I mean, they did lose everyone, like you said. The Vikings, maybe. It's like Vikings and Lions. Those are probably the top two. Just like with the NFC South is probably – I mean, I guess it's supposed to be the Saints. After that, it really could just fall either way. But like you said, he's not going to a terrible situation. Like you said, he still has vets around him. Obviously, he has Aaron Jones. He has two pretty good second-year receivers in Dobbs and Watts, like you said. And then – still a solid defense and a good head coach as well. What's Ken saying? I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't know who's calling Grimo Hall of Fame. Anthony, he said,
he was a very good quarterback during his time, and I just feel like he played for the Cowboys, so he got.
I would never say he's a Hall of Fame caliber player, but like you said, he did have some solid years for sure. It was some years that y'all definitely were supposed to go a little bit further than which I did, but I won't say it's because of him or not because of him. But I would never call him a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. But yeah, I don't think he's getting in the Hall of Fame. I think Matt Ryan definitely would have a bigger shot than him. But eventually everybody gets kind of into the Hall of Fame somehow, especially in the NFL. But
not Romo though. He has one playoff win or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it should be a definitely no. Definite no for me.
Yeah, I don't even. That's Ken can correct me. What is he have? A playoff win or two?
It was I think I feel
they beat somebody the year they lost to the Packers, but other than that, the year they lost to the Giants, they had the first round bye. I remember that year, but yeah.
This is good. Ken came back. I actually was about to kind of segue into talking about the Cowboys for a few minutes, only like 2, but I wanted to kind of just, like I said, we were just talking about biggest storylines. They've been kind of in news. Obviously, didn't sign Zeke. Tony Pollard is going to be starting running back. Mike McCarthy's taking over the play calling on that offense after Kellen Moore is gone. And they picked up Brandon Cooks, speedy wide receiver. So, a lot of different changes on that offense, but they're expecting a big year. And obviously, they were able to retain Dan Quinn as well and sign Diggs to extension. Defense looking pretty much the same as last year. So, just what are your thoughts kind of like on the Cowboys? Like, do you feel like they're going to kind of take that next step, second in line to the Eagles still, or are they going to take that division?
I'm going to be honest, the division in the NFC is kind of open for grabs in a way. We kind of know who the top 3 teams are. You got the Niners, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. They can dethrone the Eagles, in my opinion. I know the Eagles have a very good roster, and they had a very good draft and added on to it, but we see a lot of teams have Super Bowl hangovers when they lose.
Yeah.
I'm a Jalen Hurts believer, but before this year, there are a lot of questions about him being a franchise quarterback. Like, they brought in A.J. Brown to see if he was going to be that guy. And he had a really good year, had a great Super Bowl, but do we know he's going to have that same exact year? You never know. So I honestly think the Cowboys can overtake them. They have a pretty good roster. They need to pay Zach Martin so he can come in, but their defense is going to be the same as long as Dan Quinn is there. They have a lot of good safeties. You have Jaron Kearse, Malik Hooker that just got paid a lot of big safety. Jaron Kearse is a very big safety. You got a lot of underrated safeties. You need to fix that second cornerback slot. I know you got Gilmore, but he's the older Gilmore. He's not the 2018 Gilmore. So, I mean, there's an opportunity. At the end of the day, in my opinion, it just comes down to Dak. He has to play better in the bigger games. I know, like, he has some moments where he does play well, but, like, that game versus the Niners, it was kind of there for the taking. A low-scoring game like that, like, if you're that guy, you got to go win it. I know it's a defensive slugfest on both sides, but I just feel like, I don't know. You just gotta win some of those games. Me personally, I don't dislike Dak. I just think he's been overhyped a lot. Coming into his career, like he came into a perfect situation with three Hall of Fame linemen, a young Zeke, in his prime days. I know he faded off right after Dak came, but I don't know. It's time for Dak to, take that next step. Like, it's there for the taking. We were just talking about how stacked the AFC is. The NFC, like, I know it's the NFL, all teams are good, but outside of the Niners and Eagles, what other team can we say right now is better than the Cowboys? Like, it's right there. It's there for the taking. If you're going to go any year, you can go now. The Eagles, they're very good. Don't get me wrong, but we don't know if we're going to get the same Jalen Hurts. They could go 9-8.
Yeah,
the Niners are going to be good, but you just never know. Like, I'm ready. I really don't want the Cowboys to win anything because it's going to make their fans more insufferable. But this is the year. I really truly feel like this is the year for them to take over.
Exactly. Like you said, couldn't agree more. Just like Ken said, like,
real good.
If any year was the year, it would be this year. I just tried to think of another decent team besides those three in the NFC, and I really can't do it at all. Like, I guess, and I would not. The Giants, are they supposed to be okay? Like,
they were just like the Vikings. I was going to say something when you said something about the Vikings being at the top of the NFC North. Like, they won a lot of close games last year. That's not a guarantee. You could easily put it there.
Be on the other side of those this year.
Yeah, 5-12.
Yeah, it's a Seattle with Geno. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, I think that was. I'm not buying into it. I think it was just it was great circumstances that happened last year. They rallied. They probably all rallied around the hate of Russell Wilson, and they just started winning games, and just ran off a few. But I think Geno will have an okay year this year, but I just don't think they're going to be able to replicate the same success that they had last year. I think it's going to be tougher go around this time, and like I said, we hadn't before last year. Hadn't really. Obviously Geno's been in the league for a while. But I always kind of go back to this, and it may not fully apply, but I remember one time we had a show, and you would always say, like, especially like with rookie quarterbacks or just players in general, like once you get tape on them, like you can game plan for it. It's like, obviously we've seen Geno for a while, but like he played a little different last year, in my opinion. And I don't know. I think he's just not going to have the same amount of success. But it's crazy to say Seattle's the fourth best team in the NFC right now. And it might possibly be true. It could be a toss-up between them and the Giants.
I'm not going to talk about the Seahawks because I have something to say about them later when we talk about sleeper teams. But I do agree with that. Geno does have to show us. But I don't know. Like, I just saw something different. I always talk about people having mental reps, and it's not the worst thing in the world to sit behind somebody, learning from Russ from all those years. Mm-hmm. Then he was with the Giants at one point too, so he learned a lot of knowledge. Starting off in New York isn't easy for anybody, especially if you don't have success early on. But I just feel like he's a seasoned vet. Like he knows all the coverages, he knows all the looks he's gonna get, and he's capitalizing off his knowledge and all the stuff he's going through over the years. So I really feel like they're gonna pop. In a way, and I don't think Geno's gonna fall off. Like, I'm not saying this is a 5 to 10 year thing, but I think he's gonna have a solid little stay in Seattle.
Yeah,
and they're doing a great job, rebuilding that roster quicker.
That's what I say. Yeah, rebuilding the roster. Like, they have a lot of they've drafted well. Like, a lot of their young guys have played really well, especially last year. Then obviously, No.
Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, so I say they drafted well this year too. Adding to the wide receiver room to help out DK, and then Kenneth Walker should be back healthy too. So they could take that next step. I don't know. There's just something telling me when I be having good feeling about certain teams. I just feel like they're gonna be a middle of the road type team. But I mean that may be okay in the NFC this year for sure. But any other like storylines, thoughts on certain teams that you had? Like trying to think. I hit on the Cowboys. You hit on the Dolphins a little earlier. We talked about Sean Payton, Green Bay.
I was gonna say the Patriots, but
Patriots.
I would. Yeah, I'm gonna bring them up later when we talk about the hot takes and stuff. So I'm gonna leave that out. But,
I mean, we can go ahead and segue over now to the NFL hot takes. To be honest,
all right, that's
yeah.
fine.
So, what are the few ones that you had? I guess we can kind of go back to back. I may have like two, or I think I have like three.
All right, I really have a lot, so I'm gonna just name them. All right, whoever listens to this is like I believe it, but I'm just talking crazy with these hot takes, so don't take me too seriously. The first one is the Seahawks are going to win the NFC West. I know that sounds crazy. The Niners have maybe the best roster in football, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like the Seahawks are coming in a weird way. Like they surprised people last year, but they built on that. They got Jamal Adams coming back. If Witherspoon pops, a secondary could be one of the top secondaries in the league in a way. With the way what's his name, Tyreek Woolen emerged, and then you got Quandre Diggs. He's been solid for years. He's an underrated safety. So the Seahawks are a really good roster when you look at it. They have some holes, they do, but on offense, they're pretty explosive. They can get their two running backs back that are both hurt. That will help out. But I have a sneaky feeling that the Seahawks are going to rise to the occasion. They probably won't, but I just have a small feeling that they're going to take off. And what Smith and Jigba is going to bring to the intermediate game is going to change their offense in their play action game. So that's my first hot take.
Yeah, first hot take. So the Seattle Seahawks win the NFC. NFC West. Okay. I like that one. That's not why 49 quarterback cycle could be an issue. They all suck. Yeah, that's true. But I don't see him not. I mean, that like that I said earlier, Purdy did come onto the scene. Like you said, he looked great, but I mean, he could have a sophomore slump. But who knows? Maybe then Trey Lance comes to save the day. But he said, I mean, they're probably the second best team in that division at the moment. So I mean, this could be a possibility that they do win it for sure. My hot take. I'm trying to think which one I want to start with. My hot take is that Desmond Ritter. Not Desmond Ritter, but I feel like we'll probably end up trading for a quarterback at some point in the middle of the season because I don't think Desmond Ritter will be the answer. I think he may possibly get benched. He's gonna get benched, but we also obviously have hometown hero. Why I forgot his name?
Taylor,
yeah, Heineke backing him up. So I mean, he could come in, save the day, but I don't know. I feel like I think we trade for a quarterback. I don't know why I'm feeling it. The Trey Lance type thing. They talked about trading for Kyler Murray too, and I guess it kind of groups in together. I don't know if Kyler Murray finishes the year with the Cardinals. I don't know. I just feel like we saw the turnover last year. We saw kind of like the demise of them. Obviously, D-Hop's gone. Watt's retired. Budda Baker wants out. I don't know if he finishes the year with them. So,
hey, real quick, bro. I hear you on that part. I agree with it, but I don't think the Cardinals. I firmly believe that there's no way in hell the Cardinals would trade Kyler Murray if that first pick is not secure. Because I know a lot of people don't like the way Kyler Murray acts. I don't sometimes, but he's a very talented quarterback, and those people like him don't grow on trees either. So if he gets traded, it'll have to be in the offseason. There's no way they trade him if
in the
and they
midst
don't
of the
have that
season.
number 1 pick locked up. Because
They might have it locked up.
Yeah, they could. They're probably the worst
They
team
got
on
it
paper
locked up
right
going
now.
into the year. Yeah, I don't know. I think something's gonna happen with Dez. He may get benched, or I think, like I said, the two rumors I heard was we may trade for Trey Lance and Kyler Murray, and I feel like it could possibly be a possibility. I don't know if they want to do that, being the type of extension Kyler Murray got, and we just got out of cap hell, technically, with the Matt situation. But I mean, it's a possibility. It could be there. Say like he's the only thing holding us back, and Taylor Heineke just they don't feel comfortable. He ain't the answer, and he's available for trades. Could be. Never know.
I got a question real quick before we move to the next one. Do you think Arthur would do that because he's feeling the pressure? Like some people say he's on the hot seat. I don't. What did he go his first year, 7-9, right?
The first year with Matt and them, yeah, I think they end up pulling out 7 or 6 and what? Because that wasn't the year that they had 17 games yet. That was
it just happened.
So either 6-10 or 7-9.
So like he hasn't been 7-9. Okay, it's mediocre. It's not the best, but it's not like y'all getting blown out. Y'all losing close, 1-score games. So I don't really understand why people saying he's on the hot seat. But do you think that's a reason why he'd be willing to move on to another quarterback quick? He's like, I'm not going to let you play with my job, my life.
Could be. I mean, he stuck with Mariota a long time last year, but it's like at the same, I understood it, but at the same time, I didn't. Like,
after I seen that Panthers throw where he was falling down
from the back, he should have been out of there. I don't know what he was doing, but he stuck with him for a long time. So I don't know. I feel like he tries to grind things out and stick with what he feels like is best for a little longer than what it's supposed to. So I mean, that could happen this year, but I don't really see him being on the hot seat this year. I feel like this year is kind of like it'll be more so like next year. I feel like this year, obviously we got a weak division, weak schedule. If we come out doing what we did in what was it 2020 or 2021, it was one of those years where we came out and we was winning like first 4 games and then we blew the lead in those first 4 games and went like 0-4, something like that, or like 1-3. It was that year. If he come out doing stuff like that, I mean, it's a possibility. He could be his seat could get a little warm for sure, but I don't think that'll happen. Because like with him, like you said, we've lost close games, but and in bad ways, but just not like that. That last year we had Dan Quinn. That's what it was. Like we've been losing games in a weird way, but not like that. But I think he'll be on the hot seat more so if like we come out doing stuff like that, especially in a weak division with a weak schedule. Then yeah, but other than that, nah. But like Perez said, I don't know. Trey Lance in a Falcons jersey lucky goes hard. It could. I think it could. It may be all right. I don't know what number he'd wear. I think he's number 5. He couldn't wear number 5 because that's Drake London's number. So I don't know what number he'd be with us. Maybe 6.
Hey, if he were
maybe 6. That's cool. Nah, yeah, Bijan 7, cool 6.
They're not letting him wear 7. They're right if another quarterback wore 7.
Yeah, nah, I don't know what he'd wear. Maybe some number 8. Oh, Kyle Pitts is 8, and everybody got a low number for us, and it's like key players that got low numbers. But Press said Belichick coaches his last season. That's his hot take. I don't know.
I gotta come back. I'll come back with my other hot take whenever you're ready.
I feel like Belichick is like Pop. Like we always thinking it's about to be his last year, and it's not. And then like something like this year, with the Spurs to get the number 1 overall pick. Who knows? Something like that might happen with the Patriots. Like they just start losing games and start tanking. For some odd reason, they may get Drake May or Caleb Williams, and then he there for another 3-4 years, something like that. So I don't know. It's just synonymous with him. I think he could, but at the same time, I don't think it'll be his last year. I think he secretly loves it too much, even though he never shows it.
Bruh, no, you're right. I swear to God, that's what I was about to say. Like, he looked like he always mad. He doesn't smile. He enjoys going to the office, breaking down film. Like,
yeah.
I know it's a 15-hour workday for the most part, but
and he old as shit now. But
once you're done, he does have a girl. He do got a little shorty. He's not doing anything with that. But life get a little lonely, without football. Like as much as he gets on his guys, he loves being around them, the camaraderie. The meetings. Like football is fun. All right, you hate the grind, but like the position meetings are some of the funnest times you'll have. Like so much stuff off the field that you do, keeps you around the game. So, like you said, I think he's having more fun than people think he is. I really do think he enjoys football and coaching. And he's not going to stop until Mr. Rubbin Tug kicks him out of here. Robert Kraft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll coach as long as he like. He got that seniority. But next hot take. What's your next hot take?
All right. I'm going to say this one first because Prez just talked about Belichick. You told me or not this is a hot take. At first, I was going to sound crazy and I had to think about the AFC, but I think that every team in the AFC East and the NFC North will finish over 500. Didn't say they're all going to make the playoffs because there's too many teams.
Yeah.
But everybody in the AFC East is going to finish over 500. And obviously, we know what the other teams have on their rosters, what the Jets added. But the Patriots, I feel like, all right, they didn't do much. But they added Juju, who's a solid possession receiver. They added Mike Gesicki, who's a solid receiving tight end. Not a good blocker, but a good receiving tight end. Mm-hmm. And you just finally – all right, first off, Mac Jones' first year was pretty decent. They went 12-4. They had an offensive coordinator. Last year, he had nothing, and they still went 8-9 or 7-10. So, like, they're not – the Patriots aren't getting blown out. They're still a competitive team, and I feel like Bill O'Brien, all right, although he might not be the best head coach, even though he beat us a lot in Houston, he's a very good offensive coordinator, a good offensive mind. He's been around so many quarterbacks from Tom Brady. He had Christian Hackenberg when he was at Penn State. Been with Deshaun. Like, he's been around all different types of quarterbacks. So I feel like he will – I know he's a little rough. But, I mean, he got coached by Saban, so he'll be fine. But Bill O'Brien's going to get the best out of him. And I feel like that's going to add to a couple more wins because we know as long as Belichick's there, the defense is going to be – they're not going to be a pushover. Doesn't matter who they have on that roster. He's going to scheme it up or put guys in position to make plays. So that's the reason why I think that the Pats are, going to be a couple games better. And then we know what the rest of the AFC East is going to do. So I think everybody in the AFC East is going to finish over 500. We might have a surprise on our hand. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but there's a scenario where I don't think the Bills win the division this year. It's kind of crazy, but it's gonna be tough, man. I don't think the Patriots gonna make the playoffs. It could be like a 10-7 or 9-8, missing it by a game or two like they did last year. But man, I truly feel like every team is gonna go over 500 in that division. Yeah, and the AFC North too. AFC North too.
AFC North, I'd say more so them. I think if there was a team that was going to have a stinker year, like it would be the Pats, but they'd be closer to 5. They maybe like 1-2 games under 500, like you're saying. So, yeah. But the AFC North is going to be fun to watch for sure. And one of my next hot take is going to be on a player in the AFC North, and that's going to be Lamar Jackson. I think he should throw for around somewhere between 4,000, 4,200, I think. And I think he's in the MVP conversation. I don't think he wins it. I don't know if he wins it again, but I think he's up there. I think they can have a solid year. I mean, maybe putting a lot into it because I'm thinking like their offense is going to be like that with Bateman, Odell, and Flowers. And then they still have a great running game. Like their running backs are always hurt, but they're always still solid because, I mean, obviously Lamar can run it. You should get back a healthy J.K. Dobbins. Gus Edwards if he is still on the roster, so they should be solid there. But I think he's in MVP talks. He might be second, third, but he should for sure throw around about 40. I'd say maybe close to maybe 4,500 yards. I don't know, but I think their offense is going to be legit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a different approach with Todd Monken being there. They're going to let Lamar be Lamar and let him run when he needs to, but there's not going to be like the 10. How many design runs do you think he had per game in his MVP year? Like, there was a lot of times when you knew 3rd and 2, it's either read option or QB power. You either stop it or they're going to move the chains. But I think Todd Monken is going to open up the offense a lot more. And like I mentioned earlier, the weapons they had, Zay Flowers, they compare him to Antonio Brown, which is if it ends up hitting, that's a good comparison. You got OBJ, who looked solid before the injury, and Mark Andrews is his best friend. So, hey man, I I'm not surprised by it. Like, I do think Lamar's going to finish in the top 5, but then again, I want my guy T-Law to win MVP. But there's just the AFC stack, but overall,
Wow,
there's just too many
MVP.
quarterbacks. Too many quarterbacks. You got Mahomes, you got Allen, Burrow, Herbert's due for one. Hurts would have won last year if he didn't get hurt, probably. Aaron Rodgers again. You got Trevor, Deshaun with another, like, if he just pops back onto the scene this year, I could see him getting some consideration. It's too many to pick from, but this is the most talent. We can all agree this is the most talent Lamar's ever had in his career on the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what he does with it. And I've always, on record, I've said this. I've always thought people slept on the way he threw the football. Like, all right, he might miss some, but he throws the ball way, way better than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
He's a cannon, and he's pretty accurate at times. He's not. Maybe it's like, it's not the smoothest motion, or it's a whip motion, or people don't think it looks like freaking Peyton Manning throwing the ball, but he can throw the ball. He's in the top 12 of throws of the football, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it. And like you said, I think they just take that next step. And like I said, it's the most talent he's had, especially in for a wide receiver core.
Oh yeah.
And I think
was going to Dez Bryant at one point.
Yeah. Dez, 7-year-old Dez Bryant, like caught him in the middle of the season off of a practice squad. Like, put him on practice squad for a day. Had him playing in the game next day, I think it was. Something crazy like that. So or next 2 days. So it was something crazy, but that was wild. But
yeah, man, that's
guess they had to do what they had to do. But hopefully everybody stays healthy on that in that wide receiver core, because for some reason their skill position guys are always getting hurt, like every single one of them, like wide receiver all the way down, running back, Lamar at times. Shit. I think Mark Andrews be the healthiest one that's a skill position player. And
he's
tight end. Yeah, so I guess if we had one more hot take, then we're gonna finish off with our new segment that we're introducing. But got any more?
This is not the craziest one, but I think Justin Fields will end the season as a top 10 quarterback. Like, he'll be in a consideration for a top 10 quarterback, and the Bears will win the NFC North. Like I said earlier, the division's up for grabs. Like, either all 4 teams could win it. Either the 4 teams could win it, and I wouldn't be that surprised. But like we talked about, the Bears spent almost all of their money. They kind of went all in on Justin Fields, all in on him, and all in to see if he's the guy, if they need to move on. And they have the capital for it, obviously, with the trading of the number 1 pick. But adding Darnell Mooney, Claypool didn't really, hit like he was supposed to with the midseason acquisition, but he's good for a couple big plays. You got Cole Kmet, who's a nice young tight end. You brought in Tanyan. You drafted an offensive lineman. And I can't remember what lineman and free agency signed with them, but they got Tremaine Edmonds, Yannick Ngakoue. They just added a lot of pieces to a bad roster. I'll give you his bad, but TJ Edwards, I think, from the Eagles too, the linebacker. They just made a lot of moves, and some of those games they lost last year, obviously it's the NFL, so every game is not going to be a blowout, but they had a lot of close losses too. So I just feel like with the jump with Justin Fields, him adding a number 1 receiver, like Mooney's a good receiver, but he's not a number 1. So when you add another person with him, you got Claypool, you got 2 tight ends, the protection will be better. It's another year with him in the system, so he's learning more. He knows more verbiage. He has more control of the system. I just think overall it could really turn into, a good season and a division-winning season. Because, every year, bro, we talk about who's good, all the good teams. Yeah. We do our standings and stuff, and we have all these teams in last place, and one of those teams every year ends up breaking out or coming in first. So, as of now, I think the Bears are that team. At the moment, and we're going to see what they do. So I'm excited to watch Justin.
They definitely could be. Like I said, we talked earlier, that division's up for grabs. And like you said, they improved heavily on the offensive side. So it could be one of those sleeper teams for sure. I think I would definitely pick them as a sleeper team that can creep up in that division. And who knows, maybe late in the year being like the wild card scenario to possibly snag one of the last spots in the playoffs. So I definitely could see it for sure. I say my last hot take I got two actually. My last hot take, like we said it earlier. I think it's inevitable. Maybe the Chiefs, maybe one of the only ones that we haven't seen it fully from them. But I think the Eagles do hit a Super Bowl hangover for sure. I think they lose I think Dallas probably wins the division. I don't think they get back. I know they don't get back to the NFC Championship. The Eagles do. I think they may get first round playoffs and bounce. So I think they do have that Super Bowl hangover. And they're not as good and cohesive and solid as they think. I mean, they lost two of their coordinators, right? They lost the offense and defense coordinators, like the head ones, right?
Steichen went to the Colts, and I think the Jonathan Gannon, he's the
Cardinals. Yeah, so they lost both coordinators. Obviously, I mean, they still have a solid group. They drafted really well. Obviously, pretty much drafted all Georgia Bulldogs. But I mean, that's not. It's saying something, but at the same time, it may not be saying that. I mean, they are rookies. You're gonna have to,
never know.
You're gonna rely heavily on them, but you are relying on national championship players to come in and fill some important roles. But I don't know. I think they do have a hangover. I think they sneak into the playoffs. Obviously, maybe as like not the top wild card, but maybe like 5th seed. But I think they get bounced first round. Like they have a mediocre year coming off of the Super Bowl. I don't think they get back to new heights. I don't think they continue to dominate like they have. I think they play a lot of close games. They may pull some out. They may not. And they just have that Super Bowl slump, and they get bounced first round of playoffs if they make the playoffs. So that's my next hot take. And my last one, I'm gonna show a little love to the Jaguars. I think I won't say top 2. I think y'all secure a top 3 pick, and not top 3 pick. Y'all be a top 3 pick in the AFC. I think y'all be the third team in the AFC when it comes comes down to the playoffs. So obviously, Kansas City first. Second spot is just gonna be a toss up. I just don't think it's gonna be y'all. I think y'all solidified third spot. I like the offense a lot, and like you said, defensively, didn't really make moves, but I think like that can. I think defense. I think with that can come along throughout the year with just reps, and then also you can hit that on the trade deadline if need be. Like I'm sure there'll be some guys that's up for grabs that you can trade for throughout the midst of the season. But I think after what I saw last year, especially in the playoffs, I think they're primed to take that next step. T-Law and everybody is. Obviously, you add dangerous pass catcher and Calvin Ridley. Everyone got a little bit better. Evan Ingram played actually solid as well. Like you said, defensively, y'all have some players, and if you need to, you can trade for a few. But I think with just reps and continually just playing with each other, that they'll just get better naturally. So show it a little bit of love. I think y'all take that. Y'all be the third seed in the AFC.
Nah, before we move on, I appreciate it, but I'm kind of like, I know my team, bro. I'm kind of scared. Like it's too much hype. I've never had this much hype around the team. Even when we won in 2017, we're winning. We had a Bordeaux, so I'm like, nah, we're not going nowhere. I'm just scared. Like we have all this hype, and we can mess around and not even win a division and not make the playoffs. And I just don't got time for it right now. Honestly, I'm taking it week by week. I'm not, not too high, too low. We got a lot of show me games on the schedule. We play the Chiefs week 2. We play the Bills after. We play y'all in London, I think. We play y'all first, I think. We play the Ravens, the Bengals, the Niners. Like we got tests on the schedule this year, so we'll see. But I'm not hyping my team up too much because we'll mess around and be 0-3, and I'll be ready to end the season.
Throw the towel in already.
But yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. I like the squad. I think they'll come along. So we'll see. Like you said, but I mean, it is the AFC. It's very, very, very competitive. So we don't.
I promise you, bro. I couldn't tell you who's gonna be in the AFC Championship game right now. I could say the Chiefs and somebody else, but you just never know. The Dolphins, Chargers, the Ravens, the Jets. It's too much. The Chiefs could. That's a hot take I'm gonna have, but I'm gonna save it. I should have said that hot take, but I'm gonna save it for another day before the season starts.
Yeah, I was saying, man, we'll be having more shows soon, obviously before probably kickoff weekend. But last thing we're going to finish off with is one of our newer segments that we're going to start to introduce. That's wild. It could be a tweet that we see, a story that we see, anything, but it's something that's just wild, just a wild thing in the sports world that we wasn't expecting to happen. And this was one of the things. Shout out to Mo. He gave me the idea because he put in one of the chats, and I was reading it and I was like, what? Like I thought I read it wrong. I had to go back and reread it again. There's no way. But in short, former Clemson linebacker, I think he's at Auburn now. I want to say they said he is. But former Clemson linebacker TJ Dudley, accused, I guess as of now, but I think it's true, filming teammates in the locker room and selling it and creating OnlyFans and selling the content. Wild stuff. Like I was really speechless because I mean, come on, bro. What are you doing? Like, and I think they said they had to dismiss him. Obviously, he transferred out. But it's like, if you're the teammates and you just finding this out, like, I need my ones. I hope, like, I don't think Clemson and Auburn don't play each other, but I'm like, that would need to be a game somebody's gonna have to put on the schedule because, like, I'm gonna need my ones with you. That's crazy to be doing. Like,
yeah, like, all right. I mean, I guess I don't get it, but just the fact that like he was sneaking and taking pictures and stuff of his teammates, like that's weird for one. And then two, you making bank off me. You're not telling me. You just counting like it's just weird all around. Like I know weird stuff goes on in the locker room, but for you to like take pictures and stuff and then start selling them, that's
like,
weird.
Nobody know. Yeah, like what you even put it under as? Like how you even promote it? Like how do you start? Like how people even find it? Like what are you doing?
I have no idea, but I know wherever he transferred to, like once this came out, guys are like looking at him in the locker room, like maybe they'll take him in as a new teammate, but like nah, brother, don't be doing that stuff. Like the first time I catch you with your phone out, you gotta run out or something. Like I'm not.
First time I catch you with your phone out.
Yeah.
Like.
But no, it's just weird, bro. I don't even have too much to say about it. It's just kind of weird behavior. And then like the final straw was him making money off of it and not giving them anything.
This is NIL deal. Like,
you know how much he made? Did you read about how much he made? I saw the report, but
I didn't see how much was it.
I don't know. Like, what if he was making like at least even if he was just making a couple thousand a month, like that on top of NIL, and then all the stuff you get that comes with going to Clemson, like you don't have to pay no money for anything for good food. Like you just stacking bread.
Wow. An NIL OnlyFans deal. That's crazy. Wild. That's just something I never thought I'd see. It's really crazy. Like he's somebody, like I don't know. There's just like nobody know. Like I know sometimes, like you said, like wild stuff be going on. People do be recording, just stuff just be going down. But to just like, and I wonder who found out and how they found out. To be honest, like, and how they even found out it was him. But
hey, he's glad he got out when he did, though.
Yeah, because
he was still there when that got out. Would have been bad.
Definitely would have been bad. But I don't know. That's crazy. Like I said, Auburn teammates, y'all watch out. We don't want to, him creating another account and throwing y'all on there too. But just weird behavior, like you said. Wild. He couldn't have been. I don't know. I wonder if he played a lot. I was say he couldn't have been no big name. I mean, I think they said he was a 4 or 5 star at a point. But stars don't really matter. Regardless, weird activity. Hopefully, he puts the phone down and focuses more on getting in the field. Pause. So I guess we're gonna finish it off on that. That was the West Wild story of the day. Like I said, we're gonna bring some more segments like this. Whether like I said, it be a tweet, video, whatever the case may be, and a few other segments as well throughout the year. But definitely great first show. I know we had to go long because we ain't did this in a while. So much
for sure.
NFL talking news that we had to hit on for sure. But anything that you had before we head out that we missed?
Nah, not really. I'm saving some of the stuff for our future shows, but I got a lot of stuff to say before the season starts. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to say during the season too. But y'all don't get tired of me. It's gonna be a rough season for y'all because I'm gonna be acting crazy as long as my team's winning. But I'm looking forward to the season. Looking forward to doing content with other people in the network and just being consistent with it this year. You know, last season we were a little here and there. Our lives were real busy, but you know, just looking forward to being more consistent, getting back to where we used to be. So I don't know, just good show. I'm excited for the future in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, I think first week of it kicks off before my birthday, but first week of NFL, it's gonna be around my birthday. So definitely looking forward.
It always is though. 9/11.
Yeah,
right?
it always is. Yeah, it's always like first few days before it, so it's always a good little birthday gift. Get to watch the first week of NFL. Last few years, I haven't been blessed with a win for my Falcons. A few years, I thought we were getting it, but it just didn't happen. But this year, who we play first? I think we play the Saints.
It's funny that you say that though. I literally watched. That was one of the only Falcons games like I watched from start to finish. And Jameis was like 3 for 18, and y'all still lost.
And we still lost the game. What are we doing? I don't know, whatever. But Dad, make sure you clock in. Make sure you clock out. Crazy. Appreciate your prayers for joining in. Ken watched as well. Mr. Anthony Price, and everybody else out there that was watching. Like that said, we coming to you guys weekly. We're gonna figure out the specific day. More than likely, might be Tuesday. I know we used to do it on Tuesday because that finishes out the NFL week. But like I said, we got a lot of things in store. New segments. Gonna be posting a lot more on Instagram and TikTok as well. Making short content for them too. So definitely looking forward to it. Like he said as well, partnering with everybody on the network as well. I'm sure we're going to be doing a lot of CU Sundays, hosting some as well. And then I know Rob got a few things in the work for NFL. I think he's about to start dropping his previews on each division and conference. And then just check out everybody's work as well. Obviously, Omar, he puts out probably the greatest articles ever. He always got one just be throwing them out. Like I think the Pac-12, we didn't talk about it. I know we sometimes do, college football will probably do that throughout the year as well. But Pac-12 announcement about, Arizona State and all them moving had just got announced, and hours later he had an article out about it.
Out there.
Yeah, so definitely check out Omar's stuff on offtheballnetwork.com as well. Appreciate everybody for, like I said, tuning in, giving us a platform, and watching. Make sure y'all follow us on the ats down below. Obviously, Twitter, WTGMTM podcast, and then Instagram and Facebook at What the Game Means to Me as well. But yeah, like we said, we'll definitely be back probably next week. Definitely before the beginning of the season. Talk a little bit more about what we think going into it. And also we'll probably talk a little bit about some fantasy football, because I know this year Off the Ball Network got a little bit of money on the line. These last few years I've been getting finessed out of winning the championship, but this year I got to come back stronger and better than ever. So just watch out. Y'all gonna have to run me my money. But other than that, appreciate y'all, like I said, for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week, and we're out until next time. Have a good one.